So many women are afraid of the word menopause. They're terrified. It means they're getting old. It means they're expired. It means they're done with life. Well, that is absolutely not true, and we want to change the conversation around menopause. I actually even want to rebrand it. But this episode of the podcast brings on Dr. Nancy Belcher, who is here talking about women's hormones, the Women's Health Initiative, how they got it all wrong, and what you need to know about hormone replacement therapy and owning this phase of your life.
Most women aren't identifying that they're actually having perimenopause symptoms soon enough. And so some of that I think is denial, because menopause means you're getting old, right? It means that you're not going to be able to have another baby. And I had a baby after I was 40. And so when I started to notice symptoms, I got a little nervous, right? And so it has all of these connotations associated with it. And it's so unfortunate, because if we start to treat the depletion of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, then we can start to see some real results. And that includes things that women would never associate with menopause, like your hair, right? And women always say to me, your hair is so long. My hair is long. And most women, as they get older, they can't grow their hair long. Look at yours, it's really long. They can't grow their hair long because it becomes really brittle because of the drop in estrogen and collagen. And so the skin starts to drop, and my girlfriends complain a lot about all the wrinkles. What am I going to do? I'm going to get retin-A and I'm going to do all these things. But the fundamental underlying reason is the drop in those hormones. And so we talk to people about weight gain, and they say, well, weight gain isn't because of menopause. Okay, I understand that you could make that argument, but menopause is due to the drop in hormones. And we start to deposit the weight now in our bellies. Like my girlfriend said to me the other day, she said, how can you help me get rid of this? And she said, tire. And I thought she said tired, like she wanted to go to sleep. And so I said, oh, well, hormones. And she says, no, I said tired, the tire that's around my waist. And that's what most women are trying to deal with, right? And it's all a basic underlying problem of you need to normalize those hormones that are dropping really drastically in perimenopause and menopause.
So let's help women with that, because these are the things I hear every day. I'm gaining weight, I'm exercising, starving myself, all that other stuff, my hair, my skin, my wrinkles, my mood, my libido. There's a list, and the list can go on. And then there's also the medical stuff, right? The under the surface stuff, like you're losing bone mass, you're losing cognition and brain health and all these other things, inflammation. So where does a woman begin? Like, first of all, are all hormones out there bioidentical, or does it have to be the ones compounded? Secondly, when you're in perimenopause, still producing estrogen, we know that we never want estrogen levels to get too high. Like, should a woman in perimenopause who's not in menopause yet go on estrogen and progesterone, or should she wait until she's a little bit further along? What does the science say? What does your work say? Give us a sense of what you're seeing.
You have three options of the way that you can take bioidentical hormones. And with perimenopause, that is going to be prescription for your doctor, right? And so your doctor will talk to you. And one thing, I'm going to become a little tangential here. A lot of people will try and sell you like a $300-$400 kit to test your hormone levels. And as you know, hormones go up and down from day to day. We saw that every month when we had a regular period, or at least when I had a regular period. And so it's a snapshot in time that doesn't really tell you the status of your menopause, right? What tells you about your status in menopause is your symptoms. So if a woman says, I have not slept through the night in a month, then the doctor will say, oh, are you having hot flashes? They have a really good idea of where the person is in menopause and their menstrual periods. But a mouth swab or a little blood sample, the next day the estrogen could be significantly higher. And then that would be a false reading. So our doctors go based on symptoms, and that we have a thorough onboarding that asks a lot of questions about symptoms. So perimenopause, they could definitely be on hormone replacement therapy. It would be a smaller dose than if you're in menopause. But I love that you pointed out all the other things, the long-term health benefits that being on hormone replacement therapy can do. So the loss of bone mass or osteoporosis is a huge problem, and it's a silent killer, right? So it's not obvious when you look in the mirror that, oh, my bones are becoming really porous. It's not like that drop in the jowls that so many of my girlfriends, or the tire around the belly. And what happens is that women will break their hip, and that people oftentimes will say, oh, she fell and she broke her hip, but actually she broke her hip and then she fell because her bones are so porous. And so by the time they get to that, it's almost too late. And the mortality rate of women after they break their hip is actually higher than the mortality rate of someone that's been diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's a really significant problem.
I don't want you guys to sit and think that there are no options when it comes to menopause and your hormone levels. I encourage you all to get them checked, get answers, look at hormone replacement therapy as a potential option for you, and get the answers you need to be superpowered.